Okay, in this video we're going to continue on the Chapter 3 Review 4 reading code, and we're going to try to get in problems 4 through 6 if we can. So what will be printed on the screen, you have a main method and you have a do the math method. And so you always start with the main method first. It executes automatically, and so A is declared and assigned to be 10. Int B is declared, but there's no assignment yet. But now we're going to assign it. B is going to be assigned something, and this happens to be a method call. How do we know it's a method call? Because it has the name of a method, and because it's got parentheses. So that means that this is going to actually this method call will invoke this line of code, the header or the method declaration. The first thing that do the math does is it takes this data type declaration and declares a memory location for X. And the purpose of this parameter variable, because it's a variable declared within the parentheses of the method header, is going to receive the value that's being passed from the method call. So the 7 is being passed to this parameter variable. So X now has been assigned 7. It's assigned what was passed by the method call. So the next line down says Y is assigned 2, and then we have the product is X. Well, what is X is called? X is a parameter variable. It's got a value of 7, so it's called, and 7, and then Y is called. And so the product of those is 14. So prod is assigned 14. The next line down is a print statement. It says just print winner, and so that's what we do. The next line down is a return statement because it starts with the word return. It's not capitalized, so it's going to return prod. Well, prod is being called here. It's a variable it's called. Prod has a value of 14. So this on a return statement, you always the value that's being returned is always returned to the method call. So you go over here to the method call because that's where it's returned, and you replace the method call with 14, which gives you a nice easy statement. B is assigned 14. That's simple. B is 14. Then we go to the next line down and we declare another variable called sum, and sum is going to be assigned the sum of A which is 10, so that's called, and then B, which has just been assigned 14. So the variable sum has the value now of 24. It's been assigned 24. The next statement down is a print statement. It calls B, which we know B to be 14, and then it's going to literally print the space and lizards. So 14 lizards. The next line down is a print statement. It just says print hoots. That is now the end of the main method, so we're done with number 4. Okay, so now we're going to do number 5. What's going to be printed on the screen? Okay, we have a calc this, and this is really supposed to say calculate this. Sorry about that. This is supposed to say calculate this, and then we have a main method, and then we have a calculate that. So 3 methods. Which one starts? Well, the main method starts automatically, and so we go to this first line in the main method. So we declare a variable called A as 9, declare a variable b as being 2, and then in here, this next line down, we're going to declare another variable called c, and it's going to be assigned a method. How do we know this is a method? Because calculate this is the name of a method, and it has parentheses. And so it's going to go and it's going to invoke. It's going to wake up. It's going to activate this method. Now this method can do its thing. This method's first thing it does is establishes a memory location for x and a memory location for y. The purpose of these parameter variables is to receive what was passed from the method call. So a is the first argument, so it gets passed to the first parameter. Well, what is a? A is called here, it's 9. So 9 is passed to the x variable, and it's 9. The b is the second argument, and it has a value of 2. The 2 is passed to the second parameter. And so y now in this method, the calculate this method, has a value of 2. This is now one of the local variables for this method. The next line down establishes another variable called num1 and assigns it the product of x and 2. Well, where is x? X is a parameter variable that's been assigned 9. So num1 is 18. And then num2 is assigned y times 2. Well, what is y? Y is a parameter variable that was assigned 2. And so num2 then is 4. It's assigned 4. Well, that's going to be kind of confusing. So I don't know how this is going to work. The next line down, sum is declared, and so it's going to be the sum of num1 and num2. So num1 is called, num1 we know here to be 18. Num2 is called, and we see here that it's 4. So the sum of those is 22. So the value of this variable sum is 22. Then it says to return sum. Well, sum, we just found out, has been assigned 22, so we're going to return 22. When you have a return statement, it's going to return to the method call. Well, the method was called in this line. So here we are, and that method is going to be replaced with the value of the return value. The return value is 22. Now we have a very simple sentence that says int c is assigned 22. So c has a value of 22. It's been assigned the return value of the called method. The next line down does the same thing. So it's going to call calculate that, and it's going to send b, which is b has a value of 2, and it's going to send a. A has a value of 9. It's going to send these two variables, or these two values, to the variable or the method header or declaration here. So this calculate that sets up two parameter variables called x and y so that they can receive the values passed by the method call. Well, 2 is the first argument, so it goes into the first parameter. So x is assigned 2. And then 9 is the second argument. It goes into the second parameter, so y is 9. So those are two variable locations. The next line down in that method is to set up a variable called prod. X is called, x is up here, and it's a 2, and y is called, and it has a value of 9. So prod is 18, as assigned 18. And then sum is assigned the sum of those two numbers. And so sum is assigned to be 11. Diff is assigned to be prod, which is called, and it's 18, we say it there, minus sum, and sum is 11. So diff is assigned to be the difference of 18 and 11, which is 7. Now we're going to print vacation. I don't know why, but we're going to print vacation. The next line down says to return diff. Well, what is the value of diff? It says up here it's 7. So the 7 is going to be returned to the method call. Where was calculate that called? It's right here. So calculate that, the method call, is replaced with the 7, with the return value. So D is assigned 7. Next line down, prod is now declared. So prod is declared. It's not this prod, there's two different memory locations, and prod is declared to be whatever C times D is. Well, C is 22, says up here, and D was just assigned to be 7, so 22 times 7. So prod is assigned whatever 22 times 7 is, which is going to be 14, so it's going to be 154. And so that's what prod's going to be. So this is 154, which we can't see very well because I'm not writing well. Okay, so then we're going to print wow. And then the next line down says print prod. It's going to call prod, which is 154, and cats. Literally prints the space in the cats. So 154 cats. Uh-oh. Let's take a time out. Okay, so I don't know if I did something wrong somewhere else, but this should say 154. So I don't know what happened on this. I don't know if I just made a mistake on this one. So if I did, maybe you can figure that out. Okay, so that's number 5. And we're done with that one.